say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. I will take that as an okay. First and foremost, once again, we would like to thank each and every one of you individually and all of you together collectively for the co-creation of this interaction with our civilization in this way. Each and every time you provide us an opportunity to interact with you this way, we are provided a gift by you to allow us to experience through you all that many more ways that creation has of expressing itself. And so we thank you for the expansion of our understanding of creation. In return for the gift that you are giving us this day of your time, we would now like to discuss information that we have titled The Apprentice, the Adept, and the Alchemist. The idea of this story of transformation, this story of ascension, this analogy, if you will, takes account of different states of being that can be, shall we say, represented in a simple analogy by ice, water, and steam. Ice being the apprentice, water being the adept, steam being the alchemist. Different states of the same material, different frequencies of energy. Very different in terms of what they are capable of doing, how they appear, how they are able to interact with reality, but essentially the same material. As you, on your journey, allow yourself to go through these stages of apprenticeship and become an adept, and finally allow yourself to ascend to the vibration, in a sense, of the alchemist, please understand that it is not about running away from material reality. It is about truly appreciating what each stage has to offer and utilizing it as fully as you can. For there is absolutely nothing that is not spiritual about physical reality. It's all in how you relate to it. It's all in how you apply it. It's all in how you use it. Let's look at this story of these three different states of matter. The idea of ice in your apprenticeship. Things may seem to be solid, rigid, frozen, static. May not seem to necessarily always be moving at an accelerated rate. Yet, if you understand that everything happens in perfect timing, you will allow yourself to truly begin to appreciate the qualities of ice. Now, while it is true that there is an ability to appreciate the qualities of anything, there is also, in the sense of the timing, an understanding and a sense when it is time to move beyond a certain state, when it is time to ascend, when it is time to increase your frequency, your vibration of energy, and move to and become a different state. But while you are in a particular state, maximize your ability to truly utilize that state, appreciate that state, apply that state. For example, even though, as we said, while you are in an apprenticeship, learning something new, you have the ability to feel that things are not moving fast, like ice, moving slowly, static, frozen, seemingly. There is still movement, but of a different kind. The analogy of a glacier can be utilized here. For even though a glacier seems to be moving very slowly, it is very powerful. Nothing, in a sense, can stand in its way. It will meander through valleys, carving out riverbeds, depositing boulders, huge amounts of stone, gouging out the land, reshaping the landscape, setting up the foundation for the reality level to come. So look at ice and the power that it has, even though it may seem to be moving very slowly, the power it has to reshape the reality, to move mountains, to create new riverbeds, new flows, new pathways in life. Feel that power as you dig deep into the understanding of apprenticeship. For all you are learning in every endeavor that you do that may seem to be new has an innate power to carve out a new landscape, a new reality, a new world for you. Deeply appreciate that slow movement and its ability to reshape that landscape, for you will know it is only laying out what will be needed in the next state. For when you allow yourself to increase the passion within you and provide that heat that will slowly begin to melt that ice into water, you will then begin to appreciate that as you learn to become the adept, as you learn to flow and not be quite so static, not quite so frozen, you will then feel the trickles going down into those newly carved valleys and riverbeds, into those newly carved lakes. And you will allow yourself to be able to see, to experience, to appreciate that then all the water that the ice has been now transformed into, filling up those rivers, lakes, and so forth, now are places for new life to form, for life to be nurtured in the streams and the lakes, in those now verdant valleys that are now fed by those streams, so they can grow new life in the forests and the flowers and the meadows that surround those beautiful bodies of water, those beautiful babbling brooks, as we say. And you have become the supporter of the life that would not have a place to go had you not, as ice, as the glacier, carved out those niches for them, created the landscape where those kinds of environments could take hold, where those new systems could grow and spread out from there and create richness in your life and flow in your life, flowing into the greater sea of your consciousness and providing sustenance for all forms of life that rely upon that ability to flow. And thus then, even as you begin to truly appreciate the support that you have created with your flow into water, even when all the ice has melted and you have become the adept, realize then that as the water in those bodies is again heated by the passion of your being, by your truth, your excitement, by that sun that illuminates your way, your world, your reality, your being, thus then and causes that water to evaporate into vapor, into steam, thus creating the atmosphere around the entire world that supports all forms of life in one way, shape, or form. Thus then the alchemist contains within itself the ability to hold all life, to support all life, all views, all realities, all experiences within its being, within its envelope, within its bubble, within its atmosphere. Thus then you have expanded to a new level of reality, a new level of expression, a new level of being, of a very high frequency, flitting to and fro as the winds, moving, nurturing, bringing, exchanging nutrients from one area to another, seeds from one area to another, allowing new life to travel great distances within the atmosphere of your alchemy. Thus, understand that no matter where you are in life with any particular endeavor, be it what seems to be the ice, the glacial flow in that sense of the apprentice, the greater flow of the adept, or the free flow of the alchemist and the winds, there is an opportunity to truly examine, truly investigate, truly invest in, and truly appreciate each of those levels. And don't be in a hurry to go from one to the other, for each must have its timing in order to provide the proper foundation for the next. For without that glacier, there's no place for the water. And without that water, there is no atmosphere. And without that atmosphere, there is no life and no cycles. Allow yourself to truly live in each moment fully appreciating why it is there, fully appreciating that learning process. And allow yourself through the process of your ascension, through the process of your expansion of energy, through the raising of your frequency in all endeavors that you undertake that are representative of your joy, your passion, and your excitement, to exercise what we will call the 9 powers of your physical reality experience. Look to these powers. Utilize these powers. They are the power to perceive, the power to choose, the power to act, the power to experience, the power to reflect, the power to learn, the power to grow, the power to transcend, and perhaps in a sense for your physical reality experience, in some ways, the most mysterious and powerful power of all, the power to forget. To have a clean slate, to start anew, so that you will have the experience of discovery in the utilization of these powers that exist within you, that create your physical reality experience. Once again, the power to perceive, the power to choose what it is from what you are perceiving that represents what you prefer, your passion, your excitement. The power to act on that excitement, to act on that passion, to ground that energy to the earth, to anchor it to physical reality, to create the power of your experience from that action. And from that experience, to reflect upon what you have created. And from that reflection, to learn. And from that learning, to reinvent yourself, to grow. And from that growth, to transcend, to see from a new perspective, a new idea for new choices, new actions, new experiences, new reflections, new learnings, new teachings. And then, in a sense, while you have allowed that experience to transform you, to allow you to transcend to the level of the alchemist in that endeavor, the power to forget, in a sense, to go through the experience of experience, the experience of discovery, the experience of creation again and again and again and again and again. Going from apprenticeship to adept to alchemist again in every new undertaking that seems fresh to you. That is a great power, the ability to make something seem like it's the first time, because everything exists already. Everything exists all at once. And the power to not know that is a great gift. A gift that allows you to experience creation as if for the very first time. And allows you to always feel new in the now moment. And live in the present like it's never happened before. Which, from your perspective, it has not. For even though the structure exists, always has and always will, your perspective of it, your experience of it, your point of view of it, your unique interpretation of that structure is brand new. Every different perspective you have that uplifts you through those different stages, from ice through water to steam. Every single one of those experiences adds to the greatness of all that is, adds to its experience of itself. Appreciate fully the ability to be an apprentice, to not know where you're going, to welcome the unexpected surprise, Appreciate the experience of the adept that knows that life is all about the unexpected, all about timing, all about the freedom to choose. Appreciate the alchemist that is transformation itself, so that you can learn, grow, and transcend to another level that will allow you from that level to cycle into something new, and that you can continue to experience new things forever and ever and ever and ever without end. For there is no beginning to end. There is only now. There are only different points of now, different perspectives of now. It's the same now, just a different point of view of it. And the ability to relish and cherish those seemingly new experiences, those new perspectives, is a great gift. Use that power fully. The power to be new. We will thank you now for allowing us to share that idea with you. Take it to heart. Take it in, breathe it in, make it your own. Exercise those powers fully and that appreciation fully in life. And in return for the gift that you are giving us in interacting with you in this way on this day, I ask now, in what way may we be of service to you? You may begin your sharing of questions if you wish.
Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Good day.
Speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
I will. I'm not even nervous. I'm really
congratulations.
shocked that I'm not even nervous up here.
There is no need to be nervous, unless, of course, you are passionate about being nervous.
Oh, no.
But if you prefer, you can simply be excited or at peace, which is another form of excitement. Yes?
I'm very excited to talk to you.
And as are we with you.
My question for you, Bashar, is...
Yes.
I've been on the spiritual path for a long time.
Yes.
Done a lot of teachings, met a lot of teachers, and
yes.
Non-dualism, Course in Miracles, manifestation, breath work, all kinds of stuff, law of attraction.
All sorts of permission slips, yes.
Yeah. And I get so confused. It's like
confused? About what?
About what's the truth? What's
the truth?
The highest teaching.
Is that all truths are true. That's the highest truth. That all truths are true.
Okay.
Understand there is nothing outside of creation. There is nothing outside of the imagination of the Creator. So anything you can imagine and anything you can create and anything you can do and anything you can experience is your truth within creation, because there is nothing outside of creation. That's the truth. Does that make sense? Your perspective is your truth. It may not be everyone's truth. Their truth may not be your truth. But the fundamental truth that is true for both of you is that both of your truths are true. For you. Make sense? That's the glory of the holographic structure of existence. The most fantastic and amazing thing about existence is that every single one of you have your own reality experience, and that for you, that reality is your truth. And the same can be said for everyone.
That's overwhelming.
Well, all right. That's your truth, then.
Yeah.
That you choose to be overwhelmed by that simple idea.
So that... What? So what is the next... What's the next step? Where do I go with this?
Well, you understand the idea of acting on your highest excitement every moment that you can with absolutely no assumption, insistence, or expectation on what the outcome ought to be? You understand that formula, yes?
Yes.
Well, then that's the next step, isn't it? Always the next step. It's the only next step. You will always expand. There will be no end. Yes?
So follow my excitement all the time.
Here's the whole formula. Don't forget any part of it, which we understand sometimes many of you do. Act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability until you can act on it no further. When you can act on it no further, act on the next most exciting thing that is available to you that you can act on until you can act on it no further. Keep acting on the most exciting thing you are able to act on in those moments as they come to you with absolutely zero assumption, insistence, or expectation on what the outcome ought to be. That's the formula. That's all there is to it. And if you just keep doing that, your life will expand in an explosively synchronistic and ecstatic manner, always bringing you the ability to know what the next thing will be to act on, and always bringing you the opportunity that is best for you to act on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is this too simple for you? Do you wish it to be more complicated?
Wow, you know me well. Don't you,
Perhaps that's the
Bashar?
reason for your confusion, is that you think it's actually more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Now, if it excites you to complicate things, by all means, please go ahead and do so. I'm not going to stop you. However, I am telling you it doesn't have to be that complicated. Creation is richly complex, but it's fundamentally simple. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes.
Is there something else? Or are you still confused?
No, I'm good.
Oh, all
I'm
right.
good. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I'm just happy to be here, Bashar.
We are happy you are there too.
Thank you very much.
Good day, Bashar.
And you, good day.
Very excited to be here talking with you.
All right, we are excited as well. Of course, we're always excited, but go ahead.
Okay. Please tell me, why does life eat life?
To live.
Let me be a little bit more specific. I was
To
vegetarian.
live longer.
To live longer.
Now,
But it doesn't always seem like the most spiritual thing to do.
depends on your point of view. There is
Right.
nothing wrong with the idea. It depends on how it's done. It depends on the relationship to the idea. It doesn't always exist that way. It doesn't always express itself that way. On our world, there is no predation. There is only symbiosis. On your world, many of the animals are predatory because you are. Understand the reflection?
I do.
All right. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, however, it is a reflection. Now, again, fundamentally, it is one of the ways that creation has of expressing itself, of exchanging energy in that sense. Again, it depends on how it's done. It depends on the relationship. For many beings, in that sense, in a natural state that are, as you say, eaten, you must understand that the experience for them is not what you necessarily think it is. They understand and are very deeply in touch with the fact that they do not end. And they are very deeply connected to the overall oversoul of the collective consciousness of their kind of expression.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Let me be a little bit more specific.
By all means.
Very quickly, 10 years ago, I became vegan out of choice
Yes.
because I decided out of compassion that I
Yes.
did not want to eat the animals.
That's all well and good.
And many areas of research convinced me.
All
and my
right. Well,
husband
you're
to
still
do
eating
this.
the plants.
Yes.
Well,
And
They
I
have
ate
feelings
a lot
too, you
more
know.
Plants. Yes.
plant might be going, why is she picking on us? Why don't you go and eat that nice animal over there and let us grow a little more? Now, you understand I'm just playing with you, yes?
Yes. I
All
get
right,
it.
but attempting to just give you a different perspective on this.
Okay.
Yes?
I was dismayed that after 10 years, my health went downhill
Yes.
dramatically, digestive,
Yes.
adrenal failure, and
Yes.
my husband's as well. So this seems to be...
Yes.
And then when I started eating meat again, I'm feeling better, and these things are getting better.
This
so
is why we
is
say
it?
you must listen to your body consciousness, because you may still be in an apprenticeship state that requires a certain form of sustenance. There is nothing wrong with that. It's all about how you do it. It's all about the relationship. It's all about being in gratitude and appreciation for the exchange that is given to you, and the idea of doing it in the most natural, healthy way possible. But it doesn't mean that it's fundamentally non-spiritual just because that's the way it plays out. There are many cultures on your planet that are generally considered indigenous cultures that still eat meat, that have an extremely spiritual relationship with the animals that they ingest. And the animals know this, and they give themselves give of themselves to those people for that exchange. Many times, as you say in nature, the idea is that the herd is culled of the weaker members so that the rest can remain strong, so that the race can perpetuate. There are many reasons why this is a particular system on certain worlds, including yours. There is nothing non-spiritual about it. The non-spirituality, in a sense, comes about when it is done in a manner that is not necessarily as natural as it could be, not necessarily as steeped in the vibration of gratitude and appreciation as it could be. Make sense?
It does. I'm still digging for something deeper, though.
All right, let's dig.
Why is it healthier to eat animals than to not eat animals, as this has been
Because
in my
your
experience?
body is in a state where it requires that kind of protein in order for cellular cohesiveness. Because your belief system at this point, being that it is still strongly connected to the general consensus reality of what kind of chemistry you need to reflect in order to survive in your reality, requires that certain chemical interactions take place in your body that are representative of certain energetic reactions, and thus then sometimes you still require certain chemical reactions to be representative of the energetic state that you still may be in, as you have agreed to be part of the collective consensus reality at this point. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Are you sure? Was that deep enough?
No.
All right.
I just
What
want
else
to
do
know,
you need to know?
Why must we consume? I mean, I look at the animal and I don't want to eat the animal. I want to cuddle with it. You want to be friends with it. You know,
Yes.
why must I consume it to be healthy? Like, it's a little heartbreaking actually making that choice again.
All right.
Because I didn't
Again,
want to. One
it's
would
not a must.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's not a must. However, what you need to examine is, why are you having chosen to be in a state where that seems necessary for you at this point?
Why have I chosen to be?
Yes. Obviously, it was a choice to be in a state where you would require that kind of sustenance. So even though
Okay.
you may have what you call a desire to subsist on a different kind of sustenance, a lighter vibrational sustenance, you yourself are saying that you find that you don't feel healthy when you do that. So why are you choosing to buy into the consensus reality that you need the sustenance you say you don't prefer?
Well, it took 10 years to get me to that point again.
So?
I was saying,
But
at
why
some
are you
point,
choosing
doesn't
that?
Doesn't
Science is
like,
reflective of your
have
energy
something to
state.
say?
Science is reflective of your energy state. Chemistry is reflective of your energy state, and your energy state is reflective of your belief system.
So does that mean it's not necessarily so that I would feel bad not eating meat, or vice
Correct.
versa?
It's not necessarily so.
So there's no specific way to be healthy to eat or to not to eat animals?
No. But if you have chosen to be in a system that generally believes that it is necessary, and you're continuing to buy into that system for one reason or another, then you will exhibit the parameters of the consensus reality that says you need this kind of sustenance in order to be healthy. So what you need to do is examine your beliefs more deeply to find out why you would be continuing to buy into that system. It may actually be serving you in a way that you're not in touch with. And that's why it's important to get in touch with your belief systems about it. Because you may not be allowing there to be a positive reason for it.
Okay.
Once you allow there to possibly be a positive reason to continue to eat the meat, then if there really does not need to be a need, only by examining the willingness to allow there to be a possible reason will you actually discover whether there actually is or not. But if you refuse to believe that there could be, you will never get close to discovering what the belief is. Because you have to allow for duality. There is duality in everything. In fact, actually, and we'll talk about this another time, there is actually Trinity in everything. But that's another subject. In terms of the idea of the so-called polarity that you are experiencing, you have to allow what may not necessarily be your preference to still be valid in order to actually be capable of choosing what you prefer. If you invalidate what you don't prefer, that's where you're stuck. Because you're putting undue energy on it being wrong, being bad, being invalid. But if you allow it to be valid, it's an equally valid choice as any choice you could make, then you will neutralize the idea of the polarity and you'll be free to choose what you really prefer. So this is your lesson in dealing with this, is to not invalidate what you don't prefer. To see that it actually does have the ability to serve a positive purpose, even though you may not right now be capable of understanding how that could be. So that's your exploration. You understand?
Yes,
Is that deep enough for you?
it is. I have one additional question as far as that relates, and I think it relates to a lot of core sponsoring beliefs.
Yes.
I would like to know what these beliefs are that has manifested this situation, and I have asked and meditated about it, but it hasn't come to me yet.
I just told
I can
you.
think of many
I just
ones,
told you.
but which one
I
is
just
it?
told you. You are believing that certain beliefs are invalid. Yes? You understand?
Yes.
You're making a value judgment on something that simply needs to be looked at in a neutral way, and perhaps even in a positive way. Are you, in your belief system, capable of looking at the idea that sometimes life eats life in a positive way? Are you capable of seeing it from that perspective? That's the question that you need to explore. And that will lead you to the belief, the core belief that you need to discover.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, bon appetit. What do you wish to share?
I have information. I am from Blue Planet.
You are from Earth. You have connections to other places, as all of you do. But you don't come from those places as the person you are on Earth. You come from Earth.
And
Do you understand what we're saying?
yeah, sure.
All right.
And I have mission to change education system in our planet.
Well, go right ahead. We have long talked about the idea that new educational systems on your planet are required for the children to learn in a different way. So by all means, follow your passion and create new systems for learning.
When I was inside the pyramid in
Yes.
Giza,
Yes.
I received information
All right.
that our throat is the flying vehicle, and we can use to change our reality and multidimensional flying by
Yes,
using
but you have to change your belief systems and change your reality before you have the ability to access those things because they exist in another dimensional plane.
Yes, and I knew sound is a key
Yes.
to change education system in the whole planet.
All things are about vibration and resonance. In what you call Atlantean times, sound was used in a very strong way to allow people to learn. The students were allowed to relax. Drums were beaten at a very specific pace that matched the heartbeat, slowed the heartbeat down. Then the hearts started to match the drums. And the students went into certain kinds of trance states with those vibrations. And then the things that were described to them, they actually were capable of experiencing those things as if they were actually happening. So they learned in that sense through this trance state by vibrational means. And that's one thing that you can recreate on your planet at this time with sound if you wish to, although of course there are many other ways as well.
Yes, please help me with techniques because I'm searching and searching and
All right.
listening.
Well, I
and
just gave you a technique.
yes, and I understand we have put through each school in the world, in our planet, music at the first lessons is the most important lessons
All right.
because sound is a creator and we are creators because
Yes.
we have this sound
Yes.
and we have this gift
Yes.
and we can connect by sound, by
Yes.
vibration.
Yes.
And our children, they know how to do this. The crystal
Yes.
children, the indigo, and we have to just listen them.
Yes.
And we have to open up our ears. We able to listen more than we receive.
Yes, yes,
and we
yes,
are,
yes,
all of
yes.
us, we are just receivers. And we have
Yes.
to open up, just switch on.
What have we
our
been saying
receivers.
for 30 of your years? Yes. All of that is what we have been saying and many other sources have been saying. But it's not enough to just say it. Go do it. Go create those systems. Go create those classes. Go create those techniques. You already know what to do. Go do it.
Yes.
Take action.
Yes, sacred geometry inside the sound. This is our mathematic. And now
Stop. Go do it. We understand all this.
Yes.
Stop talking about it. Go do it.
Yes.
All right?
All right.
Thank you.
I'm preparing project and
Do
I'm
you
from
have a question?
Yes, I'm from Moscow, from Russia.
Yes.
And a question how I can connect all languages because there is in other continents, Russian and Turkish I speak.
Stop. Do you understand what telepathy is?
Yes.
Are you sure? Give me a definition.
No.
No. Give me a definition of telepathy.
We communicate with you now in telepathic level.
Give me a definition of telepathy.
Can you describe what is the definition? Maybe I'm wrong about understand the meaning of definition.
All right. It's not really telepathy, it's telempathy. When you are in the same vibrational state as someone else, you're not reading their mind, you're not communicating from mind to mind. You're having the same thoughts at the same time. That's what telepathy is. That's why people who are in love often have the same thoughts simultaneously. So if you want a true universal language, be in love with humanity. Mirror them. Mirror the different individuals.
Yes.
Body language. Mimic the vibration, and you will have the same thoughts at the same time. You will know what they are thinking, what they are feeling. That's what telepathy is. So the universal language of telepathy is predicated by being on the same wavelength, which means being in unconditional love. And that will generate, over time, slowly or quickly, the universal language of telepathy.
It means all our school on the planet has to have one lesson. The first one and most important, how to love.
Stop. That is the first lesson, and that will lead to all other lessons that need to be known. But don't rigidize it, don't structure it. There must be a flexibility and a flow to this idea as well. Otherwise, it just becomes institutionalized again, just like the systems you already have.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right, so go and teach that. Use music, use sound, use your imagination, create environments. Let the children learn by doing. Teach them the consequences of their choices by giving them an opportunity to actually interact in scenarios where they can actually play out their questions, play out their investigations. Thus, then they actually get real experience and they will learn from that experience, which is the only way you really learn, from experiencing something. So go and do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So thank you for the information. That you're
One moment, what happened to hello and good day?
I said hello and thank you for the information you're about.
All right, good day to you.
First, I have two questions intertwined of each other.
Yes.
I would like to know what your thoughts on when humanity will finally utilize and implement free energy and remove ourselves.
Within the next 50 of your years, tops.
Tops.
Could happen sooner, but will not happen any later than that as we read your collective energy right now. Remember, there's no such thing as a prediction of the future. There is only a sensing of the energy that exists at the moment the prediction is made. If that energy changes, the prediction is obsolete. Therefore, we are simply reading the probabilities of the most likely scenario that exists right now in your energy patterns. And our reading of that is that it seems that it will take no longer than 50 of your years, but could take sooner.
Depending on our choices, of course.
Yes, of course.
And when do you feel we'll be finally off our present monetary system?
That may take a little bit longer.
And what would be your suggestions for humanity to initiate, to, let's say, accelerate our choices into a free energy system that we actually do have at present, including radiant free energy?
You do remember the formula that we gave earlier in the conversation about acting on your excitement, yes?
Yes.
Because when you do that, it leads you into the synchronous paths and gives you the ability to imagine what it is that is representative for all these things that you are passionate about, and will lead you into the circumstances that will give you the best opportunity to create these systems.
And what, and besides inclusive of the passion behind it, what concrete items would you suggest to formulate and implement them?
Well, obviously, study the idea of your understanding of electromagnetism, electricity, gravity. Let me talk a little bit now, as we said earlier, about the concept that your physical reality is not actually just a duality, it's actually a trinity. And I will say a little bit about that, and maybe what we are about to say will give you a little bit of a hint. Yes?
Yes.
Because that's, in a sense, all we can actually give you are hints. We can't spoil the surprises. We can't spill the beans.
Right.
You have to go through your own process of discovery. Nevertheless, we can help a little bit, here and there, now and then. Maybe. Sometimes. You already are beginning to talk in your scientific lexicon about the ideas of dark energy and dark matter, yes?
Correct.
You also know, however, that when you talk about matter, you also talk about matter and antimatter, which is not the same thing as dark matter, yes?
Correct.
You have a trinity there, do you not?
Correct.
So the idea is that you're talking about energy, positive energy and negative energy, but you're also talking about dark energy. Again, a trinity, yes?
Correct.
You talk about gravity and you talk about anti-gravity, but no one on your planet yet is talking about dark gravity, because it does exist. That's your hint.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Well, our unconditional love to you as well.
Thank you. I have a question. It's
Yes.
a question in my heart.
Oh, all right.
I was recently pregnant
Yes.
and faced with a very difficult decision of
All right.
whether to
What
have,
was your challenge?
whether to have an abortion or to keep the child or
Yes.
even to adopt.
And what did you decide?
And I did decide to have an abortion.
All right. And
I felt completely insane as I milled around with these decisions. I have a religious background. I also
such
am-
as?
Christianity.
Yes.
And so I talked to a lot of people. I was given a lot of different kind of conflicting information.
Yes.
It caused me to feel really crazy. And
How do you feel now?
I feel good, but I still feel a little confused about
By
the decision.
What
I
do you
felt
want to actually ask?
I would like to know what happens to a fetus, a child, when it
All
is
right.
aborted.
First of all, understand that the spirit, the soul, cannot really fully connect to the body for 49 days. That is the time at which the pineal gland forms, and once the pineal gland forms, then the idea of the expression of consciousness can come through the body. You understand? Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, understand that the spirit, that being that was representative of your child, knew what your decision would be and only wanted to stick its toe in the water of physical reality.
Okay,
You understand?
I do.
Nothing happens by accident. It's an orchestration. That being still exists. still around you, still loves you, still perfectly viable, knew that it didn't necessarily want a full physical life, knew that it might just want to give you an opportunity to go through this process, and so in that sense chose to help you experience whatever it is you are experiencing in this examination. All spirits, all beings are eternal, indestructible. You understand?
Yes.
The idea of physical reality is a temporary construct. That being is perfectly fine. You follow me?
Yes, thank you.
Does this help you?
It does. I have another question as
Yes.
well. I have experienced a long string since I was a child of injury after injury after injury. It seems like once I am, healed from one injury, I
Yes.
have another painful experience.
Yes,
So I'm
that's
wondering,
because
how do I stop
your
this?
belief system is all about beating yourself up, like you've been doing about this issue of the abortion.
Thank
Guilt,
you.
guilt, 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 guilt. Beat yourself up over and over again. Punish yourself, mea culpa, I do not deserve. Through my fault, through my most grievous fault, I'm not worthy. You understand?
Sounds a little familiar.
Yes, I thought it might. Ego te absolve. But it doesn't matter whether or not we forgive you, you need to forgive yourself.
What is the best form to be able to forgive yourself? Because I feel like I come close to it, or it's what I strive for. And
What holds you back?
I don't know. I think that I'm there, and then, I have another experience that
Yes.
proves to me that I'm not quite there. It's like,
Oh, all right.
how-
Maybe you have a belief that you can't quite get there.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Perhaps. How do I get
Or
there?
let me put it another way. What do you fear will happen if you do get there? Maybe that would be the most revealing question for you.
Okay.
Can you answer? What are you afraid? What are you terrified will happen if you actually forgave yourself and let go?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
What am I afraid
Yes.
will
What are you
happen?
afraid of?
Well,
You want me to give you a hint?
yes.
Are you sure? Or would you like to say something first? I don't want to interrupt
Well,
your
it's
thoughts.
kind of like, I mean, the closest that I can come to it is,
Yes.
is like swimming in the ocean. It's the fear of the unknown, of what's the depth beneath me, or
All right,
what
but
if I
that's not
drown?
really quite it. It's
Okay.
something a little bit different.
Please help.
Oh, all right, since you ask so nicely. This is what it is. Are you ready?
Yes.
Who do you think you are, little Miss Perfect? Are you getting the hint?
Yes.
You're so much better than everyone else that you shouldn't feel bad about these things. You shouldn't feel guilt about these things. Who do you think you are? What you fear is alienation from those you love. You fear to stand out. Do you understand?
Yes, you're right.
You fear to be taken as egotistical, as better than thou, holier than thou. You understand?
Yes,
All right. Do you think you have the ability to drop that idea?
I do.
All right. Understand that you deserve happiness. You really do. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't exist. I guarantee it. You follow me?
Yes, thank you.
Does this help you?
It does.
Our unconditional love to you.
Thank you, Bashar.
Oh, the challenges of your planet. No wonder we were so astonished when we came upon it.
Good evening, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
It is an honor to be speaking with you and to myself.
With us as well, for you.
I have 3 questions, if I may.
Well, we'll see.
The first question is, will you speak on the ancient history of the deck of playing cards for us?
This actually does go back to Atlantean times and was more akin to what you now understand to be the tarot deck or something similar to that idea of divination back then. It was that which was used as triggers to allow insights to come into the mind, awarenesses to open up, and became simply simplified and symbolized down through the ages into its present form of what you call playing cards, but you still have attached to that idea the concept of what you would call chance and destiny, so on and so forth. You understand?
Yes.
Nevertheless, that's sort of where it began. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
My second question, when I go into a meditative state, I
Yes.
get very peaceful and still.
Yes.
I get to a point where I exhale and it's more comfortable not to inhale again and just breathe, just stay still and not breathe.
All right. So,
I'm worried that I'm doing something incorrectly or harming myself.
oh, believe me, when you need to inhale, you will. I will assume that that happens automatically since you're still here speaking with us.
I feel it's a gateway to something. I feel
It is, but we can't really go too deeply into it for you at this moment because you're going through a process.
Thank you. My last question.
Yes.
2 months ago, a disclosure documentary came out revealing a deceased possible extraterrestrial 6-inch long,
Yes.
6-year-old.
What you call the Atacama Desert Mummy.
Yes.
Yes.
Will,
You understand the idea of what has been called the hybridization process
yes.
from the alien abduction scenario.
Yes.
And you understand that sometimes the idea is that certain hybridization fetuses are grown for a while in the human mother and then, in a sense, taken and incubated on ships off your planet, yes?
Yes.
Well, not all of them are taken all the way. Sometimes those that do not or have not, in that sense, met certain genetic markers, sometimes, very rarely, are actually left on Earth. They can't really come to full term, even though they can be born. They usually will not live long. But what you are seeing in that sense was a genetic alteration of a hybrid child that was left on Earth and could not grow, in a sense, beyond that size, but did live a brief life on your planet.
I see.
Does that help you?
Yes. Thank you, Bashar.
Yes.
Love and light.
One more thing. When you're in your meditative state and you find yourself exhaling and find it just, oh, too much trouble to inhale, I would suggest that you allow yourself to recognize the humor in that situation and laugh. And your breathing will be back on track. Yes?
All right. Yes.
The laughter will take you where you wish to go in your discoveries. All right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. One moment. All right. We were having another conversation. Please proceed.
I'd like to have a conversation about, you spoke about the glacier
Yes.
and the apprenticeship
Yes.
and how it relates to the discomfort I feel in my body and my system.
All right. What do
And
you feel?
I feel uncomfortable.
In what way? Physically, in specific terms, emotionally, energetically? How?
I think physically and emotionally.
All right. Can you be more specific about how the discomfort expresses itself?
Well, for example, when I was chosen to speak,
Yes.
there's a lot of discomfort in my system, and
Where specifically? Solar plexus?
I think so. Or,
That's the chakra of intention.
uh-huh.
What are your intentions in life? What do you intend for yourself?
To travel lightly.
Travel lightly. Do you mean so as not to disturb anything? Or do you mean to be lighter?
I think, I guess I'm heavy, but I want to be lighter.
You want to be lighter. All right. Well, many times the path to enlightenment is to simply start lightening up on yourself. Are you too hard on yourself?
Perhaps.
Perhaps, in this case, would probably mean yes.
Okay, okay.
Are you hedging? Holding back?
Yeah, why would I choose to hold back?
You tell us. What are you afraid of? It's a similar question to what we asked before. If you move fully forward in your joy, what's the greatest thing you are afraid will happen? Come on. You see, many times it may seem difficult for you to understand the idea from the positive side, so we know you can understand it from the negative side. If you have trouble finding out what that belief is, amplify it, magnify it, give it full body, give it full force, give it full voice. What's the most terrifying thing you're afraid will happen if you do move in the direction of your joy, if you do become the self you prefer to be? What are you afraid will happen? Don't worry, it won't bite you just by saying it.
I don't know.
Come on, yes you do.
Maybe it's the responsibility of that?
Responsibility. All right, well, what's your definition of responsibility? Obviously, not a positive one. Define responsibility.
Addressing what's in front of you.
No, no, no. You said that you were afraid of the responsibility. Thus, then, how are you defining responsibility as being something to be afraid of? What's your definition of responsibility? Does it contain the concept of blame? Or is it simply the positive definition, which is simply the ability to respond?
Yeah, maybe that's it. I think sometimes I feel like I'll be overwhelmed by.
Why would you be overwhelmed? You see, you have a negative definition of how you receive things. What you're saying is you don't trust how your life unfolds. What point would it serve for you to receive more than you're capable of handling? Does that make sense?
Right, right.
Then why not relax into the understanding that no matter how challenging something may seem, it can't be more than you can actually handle. The only reason it doesn't seem like you can handle it is because of the negative definitions that you color the situation with. But if you give them positive meaning and see them in a positive way, you'll see that you're capable of handling it and that you haven't been given any more than you can handle.
And then this goes back to your glacier analogy.
Yes.
The discomfort or the hesitation or the fear of responsibility in
Yes.
some way has been serving me on some level.
On some level.
And
But
it's-
maybe now what you're telling us is it's time to melt a little. Because
Okay.
you're getting uncomfortable remaining frozen.
Correct.
That tells you, as we said initially, that it may be time to change. Yes, appreciate the glacier, appreciate the state of ice, appreciate the apprenticeship. At the same time, recognize there is an appropriate timing to become the next level.
And do you see the core of that frozenness, that has to do with blame?
Some of it, maybe a little bit, and a mix of other things.
Blame of myself or blame of others?
Well, you're just not really sure that you know what you're doing.
Why would I know what I'm doing? Why would I choose that?
You may have simply bought into other people's belief systems that when you get to a certain point, as we already said, you won't be able to handle what you're given. Same thing as saying, I don't know what I'm doing. But you do know what you're doing. So there's no reason to assume that whatever point you arrive at and whatever level you allow yourself to go to, there's no reason to assume that you won't be able to handle it, that you won't know what you're doing. Make sense?
How does one get to the forgetting stage? It seems so
I forget.
right, but it's so familiar.
Yeah.
The hesitation and discomfort that it seems like that is such a fundamental
All right.
orientation point.
Understand this. As we have explained previously, every single belief system has a certain structure to it. One of the primary structures in beliefs is the ability of the belief to make it seem as if no other belief is possible. It has to be that way, otherwise you can't have a full experience of that particular belief. The only thing that unlocks you from that is the overriding, shall we say, skeleton key belief that all beliefs can be changed. So as long as you allow yourself the opportunity to experience fully the nature of a belief that says, for this particular experience, no other belief is possible, so that you can experience it fully, as long as you know you will always be able to remember that you can change that belief anytime you want, then in a sense you're free to experience the idea of forgetfulness, because you know you will always remember. Does that make sense?
Kinda.
Kinda. All right.
Is the melting it's a process of
It can be, but it can be at
renegotiating?
whatever rate you prefer it to be at.
Can it be accelerated?
Of course it can. And that's the process that we call the idea of the threshold of believability. You can give yourself the threshold of believability test and say, all right, if there is someone I desire to be, with my present belief system, how long do I actually believe it will take me to become that person or experience that reality? Let's just say arbitrarily, you allow yourself to start way out in the future, so to speak, and say, well, 20 years from now, do I really think that 20 years is enough time for me to truly be the person I really prefer to be? Well, yes, that's a long time. I have no doubt that I can become who I really prefer to be in 20 years. Do I believe I can do it in 10? Yes, that's long enough. Do I believe I can do it in 5? I'm not sure. As soon as you do the countdown, the moment you hesitate to say, yes, absolutely, the moment there is even a fraction of hesitation, that's how long it will take with your current belief system. So now you can examine the belief system. What would I have to believe is true in order for that process to take that amount of time? When you find out what that belief is and realize that that's not what you prefer, you can let that belief go and then take the test again. 20 years? No problem. 10 years? Piece of cake. 5 years? Absolutely. No hesitation whatsoever. 3 years? Yes. 2 years? Maybe. As soon as you hesitate again, that's how long that process will take on the current belief system. Go find the belief that makes it take that long. As soon as you have eliminated all those beliefs, transformed all those beliefs, whatever time is left is the time it really needs to take to be to your best benefit for you to experience the process you really truly need to experience. So you can use that technique if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help you?
A little bit, yes.
Oh, all right.
Can I have one follow-up question?
Little bit. With
I'll
the
work on
current
it.
belief system.
Yes. Somewhat related. You've mentioned before that crossing the threshold of 2012, that we've moved from a slightly negative paradigm to a slightly more
Yes, and
positive
you have.
paradigm. And so, in relation to my question of this acceleration of belief system,
Yes.
is it happening faster now
Yes.
in an exponential way, or is it?
Yes,
Okay, so I can buy into that.
if you wish. You don't have to, but you can. And when you do, you will experience that.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, you cannot experience what you're not the vibration of first. It's not seeing is believing, it's believing is seeing. You have it backwards.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Yes.
See you later.
Hello.
And to you, good day.
Good day. How can you know when a subject is under hypnosis, whether they are depicting a reality or a dream?
What's the difference between the two?
Good question.
Thank you. We sometimes ask them. Now, the real question is this. Anything, first of all, anything you can imagine is in some way, shape, or form a reality. The question is not, is it real? The question is it relevant to your reality? Because something can be real, but not be relevant to you, to your reality. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's what you're really asking. What's the degree of probability of relevance of this experience to my consensus or individual reality? That's the real question. And therefore, you can each answer that on your own in a personal way. When this person is under hypnosis, whatever it is they are relating can be a real reality, a real experiential reality, but if it has no real relevance for you, then in a sense it might as well be a dream, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have to decide what the degree of relevance of the information is for you and apply that information in whatever way is relevant for your own life. It doesn't really much matter whether it's actually a real physical reality or something that exists in another dimension or another plane. Remember that in the spirit world, you could say, well, that's all non-physical, and yet someone can create a reality out of thought instantaneously that seems even more real than what you consider physical reality to be. So what's real? It's a relative perspective of relevance. Yes?
Uh-huh.
Does this help?
Yes, it does.
Anything else?
Yes, another question.
Yes.
I believe my family was involved in the hybridization program. Is that something you can confirm?
I can.
You can.
I am confirming it, yes.
Okay. Do you care to expand at all, or?
Nope.
Okay.
Do you?
Can
Do you care to expand?
I have 7 siblings,
Oh, all right.
and my mother has told me that 5 of us
Yes.
are involved. Is that correct?
The number of humanity, yes. The other 2 are involved, but not the same way.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay.
I know you don't. Some individuals are more directly involved with the actual genetics of it. Some individuals are involved energetically by providing certain kinds of templates that are used as guidelines to create certain genetic states. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
Anything else?
Thank you. No.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
Sometimes I tend to summons you for just because,
Yes.
and I'm not sure what really happens, but
Doesn't matter.
I feel a presence.
Yes.
And I was wondering, is it that presence? Is it you, or is it representative of something within myself?
Well, it can be both. Generally speaking, it will not always be specifically me, but it might be the vibration of my reality. It might be someone else from my reality, but it will always also be you. Because the only way you can experience anyone else is by creating your version of them out of your own consciousness, out of your own energy. Remember that in some senses, that's what's going on right now. You're not really actually having the conversation directly with me, you're having it indirectly. What we are doing in that sense is providing a mask for your own higher mind. You're having a conversation with your own higher mind, but you're disguising it in the mask of us to make it easier for you to have a conversation with it because you now believe it's outside of you. But you're talking to yourself right now.
That actually, yeah, I talk to myself a lot, so that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah, that's... Now, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Who said that?
The second me. All right. And I also have a question.
Yes.
The other day, this kind of the nutshell version, the important stuff. The other day I was feeling a little down. I was feeling bad.
All right.
And I felt like a spiral starting. And I looked in the mirror, and I liked what I saw.
Oh, all right. Very good.
And it kept I looked good to myself, and
Yes.
it sustained my energy level.
Yes.
Now that was pretty rare, because
Why?
every time I feel bad or in a negative state and I look
Yes.
at my reflection, I
Yes.
see that reflection of the negative.
All right. And so
Effect.
this time you gave yourself the opportunity to realize that no matter how things may seem, you always have the opportunity to redefine them. And that will be what you experience. Not necessarily how something looks, but by the meaning you give it, will you determine the experience you get out of it.
Okay.
So you gave yourself that reflection.
Yes.
Very good.
And was there a certain message?
I just gave you the message.
Yes. But was there like a certain...
Oh, but
it's
was there another more important message, Bashar?
Yes. No. Well, no. So I guess it's a whole new question. Concerning the physiology,
Yes.
the connection between physiology, the body, and the mind, and maybe the experience of time and aging.
Yes.
And-
well, time is a side effect that you all create to have a certain kind of an experience. You create that side effect by shifting your consciousness through billions of parallel reality versions of yourself every second. Thus, that shifting creates what you call the experience of change, time, movement.
The shifting.
Yes, you're shifting your consciousness through different variations of yourself in parallel worlds. That's what time is. It's a side effect of that shift of consciousness. And you're doing this billions of times a second without even knowing you're doing it.
And during sleep, it's the same?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There is no time. There is no experience of time if you're not shifting.
All right.
You understand?
Yes. And concerning shifting,
Yes.
what's the best recommendation you can give for me as far as I have this love for gambling. So when I go to the casino and I like to play card games,
Yes.
what's the best mentality that I can maybe shift myself into in order to come out?
In order to what?
In order to come
In order
out,
to ask for a specific result?
Yes.
Do you not remember the formula?
Excitement?
Act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with zero
Oh man. that's
insistence on the outcome.
hard. Yeah.
Zero. Trusting that your higher mind will manifest what you truly need. And then whatever manifests, know that that's what serves you in the best possible way. That's the formula.
Thank you very much.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Just go out and have fun.
Make sure that the actions you take are actually representative of your excitement and not your anxiety being disguised as excitement.
I can do that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here tonight, Bashar.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
So my question is, my partner and I have some concepts and inventions that we believe to be beneficial to the planet in terms of raising the vibration.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you.
Great, okay. Of the relationship between humanity and Gaia. Anyways, my question is, given the high rate of humanity's current process of ascension,
Yes.
would these ideas be obsolete? Would we get there without them, organically?
That's up to you, isn't it?
Okay.
What are you excited to do? Remember that even when you create something physical, it's just an expression of consciousness anyway.
Totally.
But if you feel that that's the permission slip that is necessary to help others relate to the idea, then by all means you can use it. It's similar to the idea that when you perceive what you call our ship, or UFO as you call us sometimes, that we don't really need that, but it's an expression of our consciousness that in a sense is convenient for interacting with planets like yours, because you can relate to it.
Sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, by all means, use the permission slip that you are most excited to use. If you change your mind about what works best for you, go with the flow. Yes?
Okay.
As the adept would do. Go with the flow.
Cool. Thank you.
Does that help?
That does help. Just
Anything
follow
else?
your excitement.
Not just follow your excitement. You know the whole formula now.
Without any expectations or
To the
or
best
attachment
of your
to
ability, without an attachment to the outcome. Yes, because you see, again, the physical mind is not capable of actually knowing how something might happen, but the higher mind is. So when the physical mind thinks, oh, this is the ideal outcome,
Exactly.
you may actually be limiting the ideal outcome with your assumption of what the ideal outcome should be.
Yes.
Let the higher mind show you what the ideal outcome actually is.
Then the other question that I had was specifically, I've heard you talk about the end of money
Yes.
and the flow chart of where human value or human worth.
Yes.
Replaces
Eventually,
currency?
yes,
That's what
eventually
I've been
your
working on, so
so-called economic system will actually be based on the abilities of people.
That's what I've been working on.
Yes.
Something called the Human Unit of Energy System.
All
HUMUS.
right. Then keep working if that's exciting to you.
Okay.
And
is there
again,
any
remember,
confirmation
please
that
remember, you never change the world you're on.
only the one I'm in.
You change yourself and then shift to a world that already exists that's more representative of the vibrational change you've made within you.
Cool.
But the world you were in still exists
Okay.
and doesn't change. Does that make sense?
Can you embellish a little bit more on it?
What embellishment do you need?
Can you talk more about, is it possible for us to experience our enthusiasm collectively?
Well, you do, don't you? Don't you have some collective...
In synchronicity.
Don't you? We do.
I guess I don't. I
You
don't know what
don't?
it would be like.
You don't know what it was like at all to experience exciting synchronicity with anyone else?
Oh, I do all the time, sure. Sorry.
Then what is it you think you're missing?
I would like to know what it is like to experience the possibility of facilitating more enthusiasm, even though I will be dead. I will be long gone, and then
Just because you're non-physical doesn't mean you can't participate.
sure, sure.
Well,
Okay.
then trust the timing of whatever state you're in. You're still going to be able to do whatever it is that is truly you, that you're truly passionate about, whether you're physical or non-physical. Yes?
Yes.
Well then, what do you care what state you're in? Do you trust the way your life is going to unfold or don't you?
Yes, I do.
All right, then it doesn't matter what state you're in. You will find yourself at exactly the right place, the right time, in the right state to do whatever it is that is exactly right for you. Be you physical or be you spirit, or be you another alien being, or be you an interdimensional creature, or be you the interstitial spaces in between the dimensions. Doesn't matter. You will do what you will do when you are that you.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm a little excited.
Just a
A
little?
little excited.
Oh, all right, just a little excited.
I was at 6 o'clock. I was about 40, 50 miles away, and I manifested me being here.
All right, malleability of space-time.
So I'm excited that I'm powerful as everybody
You are.
else is.
You all are.
I came from the past 2 years, a very stressful state.
Oh, well, how exciting.
Yeah. And you know what? It allowed me to develop in a lot of ways.
Yes.
It also allowed me to develop into some illnesses.
Oh, all right. That's exciting too.
Yeah. So I decided to step back and just hone in on being a better self.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
And I'm in this space of pure nothingness. Literally, there's days that I think of nothing.
Well, even nothing is something, but I understand what you mean.
So, as a human, my fear is money-based. So
Oh,
I haven't
all
been
right.
working. So how do I...
One moment.
Yes.
You can't actually use that as an excuse because there are many humans on your planet that are not in fear of the idea of money. So just because you're a human doesn't automatically assume that your fear is money-based. Don't make that connection.
That's my fear, my
Yes.
soul truth.
It's your personal challenge, yeah.
Okay. So how do I know if I'm done with this cycle? Because I sure as hell don't want to leave this little...
What cycle? You mean your physical life?
No, this den that I'm in. I'm in a little den.
A den.
Like, I'm like warm and fuzzy and I don't want to leave it. And I'm fearful of
About
just...
leaving it because what will happen if you do?
I guess my past, whatever happened, I got sick and I got too stressed and I didn't make the right choices.
You always make the right choices.
Yeah.
You always make the right choices. They may not be the choices you prefer, but if you make it, it's the right choice. If you use it that way, you will get the effect from it that it was the choice you needed to make. That means then you can make other choices that you prefer. But don't discount the choices you have made, otherwise you can't make new choices. You cannot get where you wish to go if you invalidate the stepping stones that brought you to where you are. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Because if you invalidate those stepping stones, there's nowhere for you to walk.
So the moment I decide to move forward in any direction, it's always the right decision at
Of
any
course, even if it's a direction you don't prefer. It was the right decision because perhaps you needed to find out that that was a direction you don't prefer. Remember, sometimes people on your planet have an easier time identifying what they do prefer by first experiencing what they don't, so that what they do prefer is clearer by contrast. If you use what you don't prefer that way in a positive context, it will be easier for you to identify what you do prefer, and then you won't have to spend so much time experiencing what you don't. But first you have to use what you don't prefer in a positive way as if you preferred it. That's the paradox.
How do I know if I'm living my highest life, my highest
Are
excitement?
you acting on your highest excitement every moment to the best of your ability that you know of?
No, I'm in a den.
Well, then obviously you know you're not. Yes?
Okay.
So it's clear that you're not living your highest excitement. Yes?
Yes.
Well, that's how you know.
And are illnesses finite?
Yes.
And
But
you-
sometimes they end with death. Still finite.
Shit. So if you...
Well,
Okay, let me rephrase that.
oh, all right.
So if there's a belief that's holding me to an illness,
Yes.
and I'm aware I need to shift that belief,
Yes.
how do I shift the belief?
Find out what the belief is.
Okay, I know what the belief is.
What is it?
I'm not good enough.
Well, why do you believe you're not good enough? Why would you buy into that? Does that make sense to you?
No, I've allowed it.
Because what are you getting out of it? Anything that you buy into, you only buy into because you're getting something out of it. If you really weren't getting anything out of it, you would let it go. What are you getting out of holding on to that belief?
Not challenging myself, just staying still.
And that's because you feel that if you challenge yourself, what will happen?
I'll get sick again.
Well, there you go.
So do I mantra it? Do I journal it? Then
In other
burn
words,
it?
what we said earlier, paradoxically, it has to be all right for you to get sick in order for you to never get sick again. Because you are invalidating the sickness as an experience. Because you're saying there is no possible positive reason that I'm sick. But there could be. There could be. You can't invalidate your experiences. Any of them. They are there for a reason. To teach you something you need to know. So as soon as you start validating it and letting it be all right for whatever needs to happen and stop being afraid of what might happen, then it won't need to happen necessarily. In a sense, you are, in some senses, almost guaranteeing that you'll get sick by not ever wanting to get sick. Because you're saying that's the only path that I need to avoid. And you can't avoid it if there is a reason why you're creating it. Now, the reason why you're creating it may only be because you don't need it anymore. But you have to allow that to be okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Everything that happens in your life is okay. Everything that happens in your life is okay. Remember, you are an eternal, infinite, indestructible being. So what if you get sick and die? You'll still exist. You'll still exist. Oh, well, that was interesting. Speaking linearly, yes, I know everything exists at the same time, but speaking linearly from your linear perspective, you've done it many times. And in a sense, what we said a little while ago about you shifting from one parallel reality version of yourself to another billions of times a second means you're actually dying billions of times a second. This person standing there right now is not the same person. Literally, not the same person that was here a moment ago.
No, I get that.
You're
Okay.
dying all the time, being reborn all the time. So what? It's part of life. Allow yourself to know it's there for a reason. Use it for the positive reason it's there. And when you allow yourself to receive the message that the messenger is attempting to give you, the messenger will go on its way. The only reason things stick around is because you try to push them away. You don't pay attention to why they're there. So they keep knocking and becoming more insistent to get your attention. Because there's something there you want to learn about yourself. If only to reveal a belief you have that you don't prefer. Listen to them, accept, allow, invite those messengers in. Make me devastatingly ill if it's going to teach me something profound that I really, really want to know. Although I am open to learning it another way. I am truly willing to learn it in the path of least resistance. However, if the path that comes is the path that serves me and all concerned best, bring it on. Because I'm indestructible, eternal, and infinite.
And I may die, but it's okay.
Of course it's okay. And when it's okay, you probably won't die.
Okay.
At least not in the way that you mean. Do you understand?
Yes.
And besides which, unless you actually intentionally choose to take your own life physically, you cannot die before you chose your timing to die. Do you understand? Because if it really was that easy, you could just lie down on the floor and close your eyes and say, all right, I'm done, ready to go. Count to 10. If you can still open your eyes, you're not done. Because if it really was your time, you would leave. So you cannot leave before your time that you chose unless you actually choose to physically end your life. Which is also a choice you're always given. But even if you end your life, you're actually still given a choice to go back. And I don't just mean in the idea of near-death experience. I mean you could actually take up where you left off in a parallel reality, never even knowing that you had died.
Stop.
You have choice at every point. You have choice at every point, even after death, to keep on living. Do you understand? You have choice at every point. You are that free. You are that unbound. You are that unshackled. You are that powerful. Does that help?
Yes. All right. Thank you. One baby question. Baby, tiny. Not all women are supposed to have babies, right? Speaking of babies, look, he's pulling.
Yes, I'm rocking your baby question.
That's my question. Not all women are supposed to want to have babies.
It's not a supposed to. It's simply based on what you chose for your life. So no, not all people have chosen to have children.
Cool. Thanks.
Whatever temperature you want. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before anyone else, let me again just remind you. In general, you have made certain appointments. If you have made an appointment, there will be nothing that really stops that appointment. If you haven't made an appointment, there will be really nothing that causes it to happen. Just let your life unfold in its natural way and see what it is you've agreed to have happen. By the end of your life, you will know what all the agreements were. In other words, relax.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm a bit nervous.
Nervous? Around us? Little old us?
Yeah.
Nonsense.
So last December, my highest excitement was to go to Peru.
Oh, all right. Did you go?
I went to Peru.
Oh, all right. How exciting.
It was very exciting.
Yes.
And I decided to go to Machu Picchu.
And did you?
I did the 4-day Inca Trail to Machu Picchu.
And was that exciting? Some hesitation.
It was very difficult.
In what way?
I was sick.
Oh, more sickness. All right.
Yeah.
So what did you teach yourself in that experience? What did you learn?
that I was strong enough to do the hike
Yes.
when I was sick.
Did you?
I did.
All right. And?
Well, I was kind of hoping
Yes.
when I went to Machu Picchu
Yes.
that I would feel some great energy.
You did. It just made you sick. I'm not being facetious. Understand that sometimes when you're not used to certain vibrations, at first because of the resistances within your body, based on your energy system, based on your belief systems, that resistance to that new energy may make you feel ill. But that's a good sign because it means the energy is there. It means you're processing it. That's wonderful.
But I feel
You'll get
like
used to it. And then it won't make you sick.
I feel like I got sick maybe because I had some blockage that the energy
I just told
couldn't-
you that. Yes, of course you do, but so what?
So how do I get rid of that?
Go back again. Go back again. You'll be stronger next time. Are you acting on your highest excitement? You said you were.
Yes.
Well, it's a process. Yes? You can do the threshold of believability and all that if you wish as permission slips, but what you did is all right. Please, 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 all of you, please watch your definitions of these things. The ups, the downs, the ups, the downs. So what? It doesn't have to be looked at like this. It can be looked at like this. You're always climbing, even if you're going up and down. Why assume you're back to zero? You made progress. You got stronger. You have the saying on your planet, yes, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The idea is that you do need challenges in your planet, in your sphere of experience. You need those challenges to grow. You accepted the challenge because you knew you were powerful enough to. You will grow from it. It will be easier next time that kind of energy comes in. You'll be less resistant to it. It'll be more fun. Allow this to be a positive and fun experience that you got sick because it means, oh boy, I got the energy I asked for. Obviously, I have a little work to do, but that's all right. That's all right. By feeling it and being sick, that means I'm working through my resistances. I'm working through my blockages. You understand? Look at it in a positive way. Define it as a positive experience. If you don't define it as a positive experience, it will be harder next time, not easier. Because you'll have added that much more resistance, that much more negative energy by defining the fact you got sick as something that wasn't supposed to happen. It happened. Blessings on you for being strong enough to experience that challenge.
Okay.
Yes?
Thank you. Thank you, Bashar.
Do you understand this? Can you take this to heart? Or are you still feeling disappointed in yourself?
I'm just wondering because when I returned from Peru, I started to get very serious migraines.
Yes.
And they're getting worse and worse.
I know. You need to let go of your resistance that things have to happen in a certain way in order for you to believe that you are actually growing spiritually. Many people in your metaphysical community have this very strange idea that just because you're becoming more spiritual, that you won't have any challenges anymore. Just the opposite is the case. You'll have more challenges because you're more capable of handling them. Remember, as you expand your consciousness, because there is polarity in creation, you don't become less aware of the negative, you become more aware of it. Doesn't mean you have to choose it, but you become more aware of it as a choice. But when you refuse to acknowledge that it has a right to be there, you resist, you tighten up, and the energy can't get through. You can't really make the choice that you prefer, and there will be physiological repercussions to that. Relax. You're doing fine. When you relax your expectations of yourself and your assumptions, the migraines will vanish. Yes?
I have to relax my expectations.
Yes.
And my assumptions.
Yes. Because again, you went there with a certain assumption and an expectation of what you wanted to experience in a certain way. You experienced it in a way that you didn't expect, and you reacted negatively to that experience instead of responding positively to it. Therefore, you caused even more restriction, which is causing the migraines. Loosen up. Lighten up. Be nicer to yourself. Relax. You did fine. You'll get better at it. Yes?
Yes. Thank you.
Why are you in such a rush to be so spiritual?
It's fun. It's my highest excitement.
Yes, I know, but you need to go about it in a way that's also grounded. Remember, it's not about running away from physical reality. It's about incorporating physical reality into the physical experience and the spiritual experience simultaneously. There is absolutely nothing, as we said initially, unspiritual about physical reality. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Then remember the saying you have on your planet. You are not a human having a spiritual experience. You are a spirit having a human experience. You're already spiritual. Lighten up on yourself. Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
One moment. It will be of some help to you, if you haven't already attracted yourself to it, to have the idea of some immersion in relaxing hot mineral springs. Yes?
Yes.
Is that something that you can do?
Yes.
What's the hesitation in your answer?
I'm just wondering where I would do it.
Do you believe that the synchronicity in your reality will provide you a place?
Yes.
No? Why the hesitation?
I'm
Does anyone in the room know of a mineral hot spring? Raise your hand. How many people raise their hands?
yeah, about 50.
I think synchronicity has provided you some information. You just need to be bold enough to ask. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Be bold. Move forward. Relax. Enjoy. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there another question?
Would you like us to pull another name?
Do you wish to?
Sure.
What is the time frame?
10 minutes or so.
Then, if you wish to pull another questioner, by all means do so.
Close call. Katie. Was there more than one Katie? Yes. No, it just says Katie. No, yes, with an underline. That's you, huh? Okay.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day, Katie with an underline.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Gonna just take a breath. This was a nice surprise.
All right.
So.
Do you have any other kind?
No.
Thank you.
Recently, I've been having lots of different communications opening up to me.
All right.
That have been different than ones I've had in the past.
Well, change is a law.
Yes, yes. I'm a little nervous, caught off guard. Okay.
Oh, all right. Why did you have a guard? What do you need protection from?
Maybe that's what my question is about.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Then what's your question?
Okay, so the mix of messages I've been getting, or communications have been with my maternal grandmothers. And
All right.
what I've been receiving is that I need not worry, that my life is going to be flowing, that I'm taken care of.
Your life is going to be flowing, or your life is flowing?
That my life is flowing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep it in the present.
Right.
Would be part of that message. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Maybe you need to pay closer attention to the messages.
Yeah.
All right. And?
Yeah, and I also had the experience of meeting some people that I might have star connection with, or star family.
Is that a question?
No, it's just a statement.
Oh, all right.
Fear came up.
Of what? How exciting.
Yeah, yes.
Love when fears come up. Because you are then discovering a new portion of yourself.
Right, yeah. And I came in, or I was able to see that.
What was the fear? What was the fear?
The fear was that I might be vulnerable, that I might be putting my trust.
You mean you are defining vulnerability as weakness instead of strength?
No, that I might be putting my trust into people that don't have my highest
all right.
interest.
But if
in
you
mind.
know that if you give positive meaning to your life, that you will always get a positive effect out of every circumstance, regardless of anyone else's intention, what difference does that make whether they do or not?
Right, yeah, and I think I've come back into that feeling.
Oh, all right,
It took
thank
me
you.
a few, a few
Cycles,
weeks.
all right, that's
yes,
all right.
So it's exciting to be coming out of that.
Yes, all right.
And new directions are opening up.
Yes.
A friend gave me a few tablas, and I don't know how to play them. They're drums.
Oh, all right.
So
is that something that you're excited to learn?
I'm excited to learn it. It's hasn't been a part of my life so far, but now it's here. So
well, all right, but it's up to you to decide whether you really prefer that, whether it's really part of your passion or not.
Right. Yeah.
Just because something shows up doesn't necessarily have any particular built-in meaning. It's up to you to supply the meaning.
Right.
It's up to you to recognize it as something representative of your passion and your excitement or not. It's up to you to have the discernment.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Sometimes
yes.
things come into your life just to give you the opportunity to have the ability to discern the difference. Just because something comes in doesn't mean you have to do that thing. Remember, zero expectation, zero assumption, zero insistence. Just because something excites you doesn't mean that the thing that excites you has to come to fruition. It may only excite you to lure you in a certain direction just to get you to move. Because that's what you actually need to do. As you say colloquially in your language, just to get you off your butt. That may be the only reason why that thing excited you. You don't know.
Okay.
Just
yeah.
let it play out. When you can take it no further, act on the next most exciting thing, knowing that it doesn't matter how things look, it's the excitement in them that tells you they're all connected, not the surface feature. They don't have to look anything alike to be connected, but the excitement tells you they are.
Okay, yeah.
Yes?
I think that speaks to the question
all right.
that has come up tonight for me. So.
Why, how synchronous.
Well, thank you.
We thank you.
Yeah, good night.
And to you, and to all of you. Thus then, we extend to each and every one of you, and all of you, our unconditional love, and our deep appreciation and gratitude for the co-creation of this interaction between our respective realities, so that in the duality, we create a new trinity of a new reality in which we both can play. We thank you. Pleasant dreams. Good day.